Hi, my name's Judy.
And I'm Ceci.
And together we are Two Girls on a Mic.
Elevator music. Welcome back to Two Ghouls on a Mic. We are here. We have a studio audience today.
Yes, it's a live audience.
It's two people. But yeah, this is the podcast where in the month of October, we talk about spooky things, spooky stories, scary stuff that scares us or has scared us in the past. And today we're going to be going into witches. That's our costume of the day.
Of the day, yes. Little effort, but you guys get the point.
Yeah. It's cute. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about witches. Well, first we're going to start with the Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 comparison because I know a lot of people, it's either you like it or you hate it, it seems like. I don't.
Surprisingly, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, so we're going to go into that and then a little bit about the history of witches. Yeah. To get a little spooky. But yeah, how's your week been?
Super busy at work. Okay, so we're in like this spike of like hiring a bunch of people. So we had to hire an event probably 2 weeks ago. So I'm in the process of onboarding all these people and it's just like nonstop. I think we are hiring like 40 people.
Oh, wow.
So it's constant checking their background. Who's done the drug test? Who hasn't? Who's passed their background? Who's sent me? Like, I've been stressed out at work. So,
well, my week. I've been here. We're at a new location today.
Oh yeah, I think this is like the third location we've recorded from. Yeah. But we're giving you guys like a variety, you know? Yeah. We'll see what you guys like.
This is my parents' house. This is where I was when I went to high school. Yeah, it's in the desert. Judy drove up today with Fabi and Joey.
We're going to the pumpkin patch today.
So hopefully you see that reel. So I could do that reel. It'll be fun.
We're supposed to go to the spooky coffee shop too. Debatable.
Then it depends what time we leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's been going on this week. Oh, I'm here because I'm watching my sister.
Oh yeah,
because
my
mom's in London for her birthday.
How lucky is she? She gonna take us?
She could have taken any of us, but she chose not to. So now we're stuck here.
I hope she listens to this.
Probably not. Maybe I'll do one of our Instagram reels. Yeah, because she watches those.
Okay, good.
Be like, good. Mom, why didn't you take us to London with you?
We could have made your birthday special.
Exactly. But anyways, on to Thankful Thursday.
Yes.
I remembered this time.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that we're going to the pumpkin patch.
Same. I'm thankful that Joey's here, even though he's napping right now because he needs to, recharge.
Yeah, get some energy back in there.
Even though he had a bunch of energy this morning. He woke up at 7 a.m. I don't know.
When you guys got here, he was like at peak levels.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, you need to recharge because you're going to be cranky. So, but yeah, I'm thankful that we're going to go to the pumpkin patch. And then we're also planning on carving pumpkins and doing that pumpkin photo shoot.
Yeah, so
it's exciting.
I didn't know about that. I washed my hair today.
Well, you have to watch it again.
It's for the bit, I guess. But yeah, we have a lot of fun, spooky things going on today.
Yep.
So they'll be on our Instagram eventually.
Just give us some time. They'll be on before the end of October, right? So relax.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least the photos will.
Yeah, the photos will. The reels might take some time.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Quiet on set, please.
I thought I put out Do Not Disturb. All right. Well, this week, as I mentioned, it's a witches week.
Yep.
So we're going to start off plain and simple. Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
A lot of people like the first one, although apparently my sister Alex does not.
Wow.
Yeah. But we did a little Hocus Pocus watching party where we watched the first and the second one back to back. And obviously, I love the first one.
Oh, for sure. It's like classic.
Yeah, it's like you just throw it on. It's not scary, but it's a little spooky. And we watched the second one. So you said you're in the middle about if you like it or not.
From like a childhood perspective where, we watched the original one, it didn't meet my expectations. But because it's Hocus Pocus, like I'm glad they did a second one. I could have done without it, but I can't compare it to the first one because obviously the storyline is completely different. Yeah. So like it's cool to watch it. I wouldn't watch it again. Mm-hmm. But I see why some people complained. But I also see, okay, they're complaining how cheesy it is and how up to date it is. But I'm like, they did that with the first one because they use like the broom and the what are they?
The Roombas.
No, on the first one.
The vacuum, the plug-in like vacuum thing. Yeah,
and that was like newer technology then. But for us, if we see it, obviously it's old school. Yeah. So the way people are seeing it's like, oh, like why would they use a Roomba and a sofa? It's like because that's what's in there. It took place in now, and people were like complaining about those things. Like,
yeah, I think a lot of people have been comparing it to the first one, which I get because it is a sequel. But at the same time, like you said, it's a different storyline. And I think that's good that they did it because if they would have just done like the same thing with different characters, that would have been like at no point to that.
I know that one I saw, I think it was on TikTok, that I saw that somebody suggested that they should have kept the same cast where the what are their names? I can't even remember the names.
Max? Oh, the witches?
All three of them. No. The guy, the virgin.
Max? No.
Whatever. The two, the brother, the sister, and the Allison. Other girl. Yeah. So they should have gotten married, had children, and that their kids should have met the Sanderson sisters.
See, that's what I thought it was going to be too. And I kind of am happy that they didn't do that because I feel like that would have been too much like they're trying to relate it too much back to the first one.
That's true.
And I know that Danny, that's the little sister's name. So Max, Danny, and Allison.
Right.
The actress who played Danny, I saw that she did want to be in this second one, but by the time they started filming, like she was on something else. Oh. So I think they were trying to work something out to where she could be a part of it.
Yeah.
Which I was expecting at least her to be in it.
Right? Yeah.
But I don't know. It was fun. I wouldn't watch it again just for fun. It wouldn't be my first pick.
Yeah.
But I think it was cute. I know a lot of people don't like how the ending happened, but at the same time, yeah, you gotta grow. And people look at witches as like
bad, evil things. When
it's not always like that.
Yeah. And that's where I'm conflicted too. Like I am glad that, Winnie kind of reflected and said, okay, well, I love my sisters more than I love the power and like living forever. But at the same time, because of, again, going back to the first one, they were evil and like all they wanted to,
get the kids.
And it's like a toss up. Whereas like, I get it, but at the same time, like we saw the Sanderson sisters as bad.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have kept them bad. Maybe not as bad, but still kind of kept it like a little on the bad side, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I relate it back to like me and my sisters because like a few years ago when I was still in school, like in high school, I would not want to hang out with Alex. Izzy, I would always hang out with her, but like me and Alex, for the most part, we butted heads a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we're sisters. So I think that's where I related to the most.
Right.
But I also get that. Like, yeah, they could have done it better by doing it, hinting at it more throughout the movie. So that way it wasn't just like this is happening.
So I don't know. It's like cool that they did it, but
it didn't need to be done.
And I feel like that's what they're doing with a lot of things that we grew up. They're trying to make remakes or sequels, and it's like, some of them just don't need to be touched. Like, just leave it as is. Like, I get it. We love it as like 90 kids that we love these things, but it doesn't mean we want a sequel. Like, just
I think about that too, and then I'm like, no, but I guess like kids now. But at the same time, you could just show them those old movies.
That or just come up with something new.
Yeah.
That is not.
That's a hard thing to do in Hollywood.
I mean, they could have just, made up like other witches.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they could have done anything.
Yeah.
But I think they knew that having Hocus Pocus, they were going to get money from it. They were going to have people watching it.
Yeah. But
it's all the business stuff.
Hollywood.
I think it's worth watching once. And if you don't like it, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our
our take.
Pocus.
That's our hot take on.
Yeah, I guess that's our hot take. It wasn't like horrible how some people are making it out to be.
I feel like some people are just taking it way too serious. We're like, oh, it's
and
it's like sucked and blah blah blah. It's like it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it was probably made for kids.
I was gonna say it's not geared for adults.
Yeah.
But
all right,
let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? What's your review? So now we're gonna go into the history of witches, and I got all this from history.com.
So you know it's true.
So you know it's true if you want to fact check me. And I'm not claiming that I knew any of this. But I never really thought of when witches were like a thing or like when they became a thing.
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason, I did not connect them to the Bible at all. Because I feel like
that is true. I wouldn't think they're like...
Yeah, but apparently that's like kind of one of the earliest recorded things of witches. And so before I get into that, it says early witches were people who practiced witchcraft, using magic spells and called upon spirits for help or to bring about change. Most witches were thought to be pagans doing the devil's work. Many, however, were simply natural healers or so-called wise women whose choice of profession was misunderstood. So yeah, they're not all evil.
I feel like that's where it got, twisted, where it was because they're like curanderas, where they use, more natural ways of, either healing if you're sick or cuts or stuff like that. They use what the earth gives them.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people were like, but at least back in the day, they were like, oh, how are they using this?
They didn't understand it, so they just immediately went to evil.
Exactly. So I feel like will probably be one of the origins from that, is because people didn't understand that you can use, what earth has given us to, heal certain things. And they ended up thinking like, because they're like such small thinkers, they're like, that's not possible. That's witchcraft. That's evil.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's debatable. All right. So as I was talking about, the earliest known record of a witch comes from the Bible, and it's believed to have been written between 931 BC or 721 BC. So sometime in between there. Before Christ. Yeah. That's what BC stands for. And AD stands for after death. And it says, it tells the story of when King Saul, this passage tells the story of when King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the death prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army. The witch roused Samuel, who then prophesied the death of Saul and his sons. And the next day, according to the Bible, Saul's sons died in battle and Saul committed suicide.
Okay, first of all, your kids were in battle. Like, the chances of them dying is very high. So. Especially back then, like, there was no remedies to sicknesses or illnesses. So a lot of kids were like, yeah, back then. I don't know. I think it was a big coincidence.
There just so happened to be a witch there. And also, you don't even know if this is... I was gonna say, we're going to get into some hot water here, but...
When you read this and it said Witch of Endor, I'm like, Star Wars?
I was thinking that too. Yeah. Like, everybody's entitled to their own religious beliefs. But at the end of the day, you never know who wrote this and how credible they are.
I was going to say, like, how do you know that the people weren't just writing stories? Like, some bored old man or lady just writing these stories. Like, oh, this would be like imagination. This is what happened. Yeah. It's like, how do we...
How do you know that where their mind was at?
Right. What if there's some crazy people and they came up with this whole religion? But
we'll get into that another day.
Sorry we dispersed your bubble. But we're not big on religion.
Yeah. Another Old Testament verses condemn witches, such as the oft-cited Exodus 22:18, which says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." So that's where all the hate started, I guess. And additional biblical passages caution against
divination,
chanting, or using witches to contact the dead. So they're basically like, don't mess with witches. At least that's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I read that, I was like, I did not connect witches to like the Bible.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Like, I know that I'm sure that religion has to do with it, but I just did not think of mixing the two together. But
interesting. I guess. But then again, like, people back in the day were really religious.
Yeah. when it was first coming out, you know?
It was a thing.
Everyone wanted to be trendy. Also, I keep looking to the screen. It's because Fabi's like laughing and doing faces. Okay, and so we're gonna jump through a time machine, and look at one of the probably the most well-known witch trials, which is the Salem witch trials.
Ooh, you're gonna be there in a couple weeks.
I am. When this comes out, I'm gonna be there next week.
So exciting. By the way, she's going to Salem. I'm so jealous.
I know.
Again, I'm gonna jump in your
in my jumpsuit.
In your carry-on. So start lifting.
All right. So this is the story, because I knew of the Salem witch trials, but I never like
looked into it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just didn't. It interests me, but not so much to where I would go out of my way to look for it. The Salem witch trials began when 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams began suffering from fits, body contortions, and uncontrolled screaming. And they even put that today, people that have studied this and looked at like how they were acting, they think that they were poisoned by a fungus that was causing all of this. So maybe not witchcraft. And as more young women began to exhibit the symptoms, mass hysteria ensued, and 3 women were accused of witchcraft. That's Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba. I don't think they knew her full name, but 2 Sarahs.
Interesting, Sarah.
Yeah.
With an H, by the way.
Yeah, both of them with an AH. And the last one, Tituba, she was an enslaved woman owned by Paris's father. She confessed to being a witch and began accusing others of using black magic. Wow. And yeah. And on June 10th, Bridget Bishop became the first accused witch to be put to death during the Salem witch trials when she was hanged at the Salem gallows.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Ultimately, around 150 people were accused of being witches, but only 18 of them were put to death.
I wonder why.
I think it was like, you know, the Satanic Panic? I think it was like that, where people were like, oh, witches. And then you start to like question everything and everyone. Oh. And I think that's what the whole town did.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't know that there was so many people being questioned. For whatever reason, I thought that everyone who like they thought was a witch would just take them out. But that's not the case.
I wonder how you prove that you're not a witch.
Back then, I don't know if you could.
That's what I'm saying. Like 150 were accused and only 8 were put to death. So like what happened to the other 100 something?
That's a good question.
Like, did they escape, or did they somehow say, hey, you know, that's not me. I didn't, you know.
I mean, I'm sure they could have like done some sweet talking.
Here's some money. Here's some gold.
All right. And a common misconception that I found here is that women weren't the only victims of the Salem witch trials. Six of those 18 were men.
Interesting. Well, because whenever you think witch, you only think like
a girl or a woman.
Yeah.
But what is it? A warlock?
A warlock.
That's the technical
term for men.
A male witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was all women that were in the witch trial. But now we know it's not the case. All right. And Salem wasn't the first. Where are those colonies?
Okay.
They weren't the first ones to like have something like this happen. Because in Windsor, Connecticut in 1647, which I think that was
before.
Yeah. Oopsies. I didn't put the year. Editing Ceci here. So the Salem witch trials actually took place between 1692 and 1693. So Connecticut was going through their own witch trial 45 years before Salem started theirs. So now that you know that, and that's cleared up, here's what went down in Connecticut. And Alce Young, I don't know how to pronounce the first name. They were the first person in America executed for witchcraft. And before Connecticut's final witch trial took place in 1697, which is just 50 years later, 46 people were accused of witchcraft in that state, and 11 were put to death for the crime. So
I wonder how we moved away from
just we're like knocking everything out.
Yeah, like because I'm like, I wonder if you're like, now you claim you found a witch, that people will look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could have done more research on that, but but yeah, that's what I found. I also found some other stuff, like when you think of witch, and in even movies too, it's like they're burned at the stake. Yeah. But apparently, yes, that happened in like Scotland and some other places outside of the U.S. But for English-speaking countries, which is us, they would hang them instead of burning them. So somehow, like that got twisted throughout the years that everybody was burned at the stake. Huh. Yeah. So I thought that
I wonder why we moved away from burning.
I mean,
I guess more humane.
Well, I mean, you suffer either way.
That's true. I guess, but it's quicker. I guess if you're burning, like,
I wonder if your body goes into shock though while you're burning.
Probably
because when you're being,
oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. My son just woke up from a nap and it's quiet and you just hear mommy
and the house is like echoey too, so it's scary.
My heart dropped a little bit, and then I remember I had a child. Oh my goodness.
Another one here, and also this is from EnglishHeritage.com. It says a misconception is millions of innocent people were rounded up on suspicion of witchcraft. And it says here that the total number of people that were actually tried for witchcraft in England throughout the period of persecution was no more than 2,000. So I think people were just blowing it up out of proportion, saying that everybody's a witch. And I mean, it's different than like some that are actually being like tried for it versus like, oh, my neighbor is a witch.
Yeah. And I feel like some people, like, they had people who they didn't like, and they're like, I'm going to accuse them of being a witch just because I don't like them. You know?
Yeah. I feel like I'm sure that was, I feel like people would do that today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's what we got on witches.
You know what? One thing that I always, whenever I think witch, I always think of Sabrina the Teenager Witch. Mm-hmm. And there's an episode where they go to a field trip to like, something to do with, I think it's Salem or something like that, and they go in there and they get a card and it tells you if you're a witch or a mortal or just like a regular person.
Yeah.
And obviously Sabrina's a witch, but she never looks at her card because she's like, oh, whatever, like I don't even want to like do this.
Yeah.
But then everybody starts accusing her of being a witch, like, because there's this girl that doesn't like her, so she starts accusing her of being a witch, and she goes to trial, and then they find out that she's not a witch, and blah blah blah. But then when she goes back to the school bus, she opens her card, and it says witch. But the professor said, because they asked him like, oh, who were the witches? And he's like, oh, nobody had a witch card. But then when she opens hers, it says witch. And I'm like, huh, interesting. But that's one episode that always sticks out to me. Just like,
yeah. I mean, that just goes to show, obviously that's not, like, that's fiction. But real life witches, they're not all, like, crazy, wanting to curse everybody. I mean, yes, I'm sure there is people like that.
And I feel like that's the misconception that people have. There's like, they look like this little witch right
here. Or like, because even the craft started out like, oh, there's just these girls that are into witchcraft, and then by the end of the movie, like, one of them's going crazy.
Right, yeah.
Which, I mean, with everything, there's always some bad piece in the paw.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I feel like for the especially as of recent, I feel like witchcraft and I forgot what the other one's called. It starts with a W too. But I feel like they're being practiced more now, where it's kind of becoming a bit more accepting.
Right.
And also, I feel like people don't just, if you practice witchcraft, they don't call themselves a witch.
Right.
That's like maybe.
Because again, it comes with a like bad connotation.
Yeah.
It's like, just because, you know, you practice that, it's not, there's like, what is it, white magic and black magic?
Yeah.
You know, but automatically everybody thinks it's black magic.
Yeah, like you're trying to do some evil stuff.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
And it's the same thing in religion. You have like the good people who practice like healing, like the good kind. And then you have people who, you know, use the dark entities and whatnot. No.
But that's what we have for the witches episode.
Yep.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This was more of like an educational one. But I mean, it was pretty interesting to like learn about this stuff, because like I knew about the witch trials, but I didn't know of it. And
my thing is like, I'm surprised that like the whole religion thing came into play. Like that never crossed my mind.
Yeah, because you don't think of it. It's like witches, yes, people say they're evil, but you don't necessarily like associate it with like demons and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. That was my favorite part, was actually that, like learning about where it began and how their misconception of them came from. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see our pictures from the pumpkin patch today or our pumpkin head pictures, you can check out our Instagram at 2 Girls and a Mic. And yeah, ours are in the description.
Yes.
And with that being said, you'll see us on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Ready? Okay. But how do we start this again?
I had a saying in my head. This has happened to me last episode too, where I had something in my head and it just leaves. But
Dude, I swear Joey's gonna shit out.